The Arbor FiberArts Guild meets September through May in Ann Arbor at the Zion Lutheran Church. We have a website, arborfiberarts.org, that people can check out and see what kind of things we have going on. And we welcome visitors. We've been in operation over 50 years. We started as a hand weavers guild and then morphed into Fiber Arts Guild because we wanted to encompass all the fiber arts, not just weaving. So we try to cover aspects that are of interest to all of our members of the guild, and we're, I think, at about 110 members right now. So it's a great organization, and the people are very welcoming, and you can find people with all sorts of interests, and that, I think, is something that would be of interest to men and women of all ages. What's wonderful is that we have such great participation in this show. We have artists in our group that make paper, do felt making, do weaving, do collages, crochet, you name it, they do it. And there's a jury process that everybody goes through who wants to exhibit, which is fairly rigorous, I will say. So that jury process, I think, has made our shows get better and better. So when I started doing fiber arts, I just love the textures. I work with merino wool, and I work with other, things like fabric and yarn and, found objects, that kind of thing. And there's so much scope. I mean, some of my pieces are actually quite sculptural. Colors, for me, is the sky's the limit. And that, to me, is really important. The textures, the different kinds of materials that I was able to use, and the different sizes, and the sculpture quality really is what drives me to work with fiber. I mean, the art world, there's such a cross-pollination of, you're no longer just a painter, or you're no longer just a fiber artist or a sculptor. You can mix and match, and you can be free to go however your heart dictates, right? You learn to be creative. You learn to think in multiple ways, and you learn to problem solve, and you learn to manipulate and shape. And I think for young people, it's really important that they understand that aspect of creativity, because I know a lot of businesses now want people in the arts because of that very aspect. But the other thing too is we need to appreciate and preserve, the culture that we have. People need to get into depth and study, look at the past, and then that'll help shape their future. I think it takes some courage to just keep going. And you have to realize that, you have to function regardless of what's happening in the world, don't you? The more exposure we get, the more people will become aware of how important art is. And I know it's kind of ephemeral in a way, but we need to convince people that it's important.